Hey, this is Jevon Bowley from Pasadilla Productions here. I'm doing this video as a discussion panel for a couple of reasons. Is to share a story between myself and a friend of mine named Letitia Coop. Say hi, Letitia.
Hi.
Alright, now we're doing this video because this person has, cooperatively, I wouldn't say cooperatively, but co-optively has been terrorizing our lives for probably a good amount of years now. And considering the fact that this person, I would label a domestic terrorist for the obvious reasons. Considering that this person needs to be stopped, we need to basically point out the facts here. Now, this is an open discussion. This is going to go for as long as it's going to go, or as long as my hard drive allows me. So, feel free to introduce yourself, Letish.
Well, I'm Letitia and full-time mother. Don't know why I should say that. But,
And you're also the creator of Letties Life, I believe.
Yes, and the only reason why I started that was actually pure out of fun because of the stalker. I thought, okay, well, I'm going to take advantage of the situation and create a page so I can sit there and talk shit and share shit, and she can't do anything about it. She can just sit there and watch.
Yeah, well, I saw this video that you did about someone stalking you, and that was referring to Michelle, if I was correct. Am I correct?
Yes, it was.
Yes. Can you please delve a bit more into that? Because we need to get some sort of reference on how that video came to pass. Because I saw that video last year when Michelle and I were actually friends. And
I still have your messages.
Yeah, I'm sorry, by the way. I'm sorry.
Ravens. Even ravens.
I'm sorry. I know. The thing was, this is the funny thing. I was going under Michelle's information at the time, and she was saying that someone's stalking me. But it turned out to be the other way around after when I eventually got the side from you. And I thought to myself, okay, this was someone stalking Michelle. So I better turn around and tell this person to fucking knock it off. But unfortunately, it wasn't really the case, wasn't it?
No, it was the other way around.
It was the other
she just
way
didn't
around.
like the fact that I had something to say.
Yeah, it was the other way around. So, would you be able to delve on how that video came to existence? Like, what manifested? What was the events manifesting around that video?
Well, I think it was around 2014-ish, I think. I can't remember exactly when and then. She randomly added me on Facebook and then started talking to me. At that stage, I'd forgotten that who this person was or what relevance she had towards me. And she was like, "Oh, I'm David's ex-girlfriend. Do you remember me?" I'm like, "No, I've never fucking talked to you. Who are you?" And then she was like, "Oh, I'm skinnier now. I've had surgery. That's why you won't recognise me." I'm like, again, I've never spoke to you, but okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. So I started talking to her, and I was just like, okay, this girl's I should have seen the warning signs when I first started talking to her. Madeline, turn it down, please. Hey, turn it down, please. Sorry.
That's okay.
Choice of a 5-year-old for school holidays.
Kids, school holidays, it's understandable.
Yeah. Anyway, and I was just like, I saw the warning signs, but I chose not to listen to them. The whole talking about herself.
One question, I'm sorry for interrupting you there, but what were the warning signs? Would you be able to delve into what were the warning signs initially were?
For any female talking to another female, the usual warning signs is that self-obsessed warning signs. Stay there. Do not get in the video. The whole, it's all, every time she talks to me, it's always about her, not about, oh, hi, what are you up to, blah, blah, blah.
So
it was
basically it was a narcissistic conversation on her part, in other words.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I've lost this much. Wait, have you spoken to David? I miss him. Oh my God, it's so hard since I've had this surgery. I'm like, dude, do I care? I've even told her I don't fucking care. I even told her, like, dude, I don't care. Good for you. Do it, whatever floats your bloody boat.
Yeah.
And then one day she asked to meet up with me, and I looked at it and I went, okay, one chance, one chance. Because sometimes people's perspective on others via, social media is entirely different to what their personas are to in person.
Yes.
So for all I know, they've been
Yes.
just seeking
Everyone has a different presence on social media, as opposed to having a different persona in real life. And
as you've learnt with me.
as I have learnt with you, and as you've learnt with actually. I don't have you noticed that with me as much with me as well in person as opposed to my social media.
When I first got your message, the first thing that came through my head is, oh, for fuck's sakes, not again. Piss off, block.
Yeah, I know. I have a penchant for being brutally honest, I'm afraid, and that's usually my liability. I'm a liability for being honest.
I can get into trouble too for being too honest, and that's one thing Michelle hated about me is I'd catch out on lies all the time, and I'm like, you're fucking full of it. What the fuck are you on?
Fully same here. I've busted a few people out on different occasions on that sort of
area. I would even bring up Google and type in her information, and then fully fucking present the facts to her face, and she's still.
I actually did a Google search on her. There's not really much on her, to be honest.
What I meant, if we were talking about something, talking about her African roots, because she reckons she's part African, and she reckons that the Africans came in the Victorian century to New Zealand. I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah.
No one was here in the Victorian century. No one was actually in New Zealand in the Victorian century.
No, they were.
And I proved her fucking wrong.
Exactly. If you look at the history books in New Zealand, we're going to give you... This is not really a history
it was
discussion,
only
but...
the Europeans. At that stage, it was only the Europeans, and they were voyagers at the stage, going to different fucking parts of the world, and it wasn't until, around the 1920s sort of thing when all the war started, when fucking us white, dirty motherfuckers started taking black people as, Sorry, that's how I feel about the history. I do not like...
In my family background, apparently, my grandmother was born in international waters on my mother's side. And I think... I can't exactly remember on my father's side exactly, but apparently on my mother's side, I'm a second-generation Kiwi, so...
I'm a third-generation Kiwi.
But that's on my mother's side. My mother's still trying to figure that out because we found out not long ago. Because when my parents were here back in January, my grandmother was a bit of a pathological liar, so we're finding that out as we speak.
On one side, I'm a fourth-generation Kiwi, and on the other side of the family, I'm third.
I think I'm second on both. I'm not sure. I haven't really. I'd have to get a genetic DNA test done, genetic family tree done.
I want to go there, but I don't have $150.
I can get that easy. But anyway, back onto the subject of Michelle.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, anyway. So I gave her the benefit of the doubt, met up with her and thought, okay, this chick's kind of cool. Maybe she's not what I'm perceiving her to be on Facebook. And so I slowly started letting her in, and then noticed that she was slowly starting to become a pest, and not as in the stalkerish way. This is before I found out the real true side of her. What I meant by she was always wanting to come over and stuff like that, and always staying over all the time and shit like that. And I said, look, we don't mind you coming over all the time, and it is our personal space. We would like you to respect that. If you make a mess, please stand up.
Of course. I mean, it's your home at the end of the day, and at the end of the day, they have to respect that. And if they're going to turn around and shit on your house, you have every right to kick them out. So.
And she would stay for like 2 or 3 days at a time. And, and I'd always be cleaning and shit like that. And I would get really, really frustrated because I'll be looking at the dishes and stuff like that, and her lazing on the couch. I said, "Are you going to get up and help me?" I said, "You're no longer a visitor in my home. You come here all the time. You stay for a couple of days at a time. You use my power, my rent. You use my power, my water, and my food, and you don't contribute to any of it.
No
I
doubt
would
she
at least
does.
like."
No doubt she does the same with the internet too. I'm gathering.
Oh yeah, no, she was fucking using our internet as well. And at that stage, we didn't have
Unlimited
what do you fucking
broadband.
call it? Fucking unlimited. So, when she would stay, we'd fucking go through our internet like crazy.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, no, what was it? I ended up making an agreement with her. I said, "Look, I understand you want to get away from your family and blah blah blah, but if you want to stay here, you're gonna have to start, pulling some weight. Either
Contributing.
either pay us money for the shit that you're using, like the water, the power, and the internet and the fucking food."
The
And
amenities.
she's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, all good." Like she even had a room to sleep in. I shit you not. There was even a bed and a room to sleep in and shit. So it wasn't like I was making her sleep on a couch and shit. We let her
Yeah.
use our spare room.
So basically, she
And
was like a boarder, and she was basically boarding. It was like Airbnb. If you know what Airbnb was.
yeah, she was
Yeah.
boarding on the days that she wanted to board, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
And not once did she ever pay us a cent. She never paid us a cent living at our house. And she kept saying, "Oh yeah, yeah, I'll do it." And yeah, and then when my birthday rocked around, I think it was, I can't remember what fucking year. I can't remember exactly what year it was because I know it was around. Right, I'm 26 now, 25. Fuck. I'm just trying to remember. I think 24 is when I went down to Westport, and that would have been 2005. So no, it was 2004. So I think I met her in 2003.
Yeah.
2004 was when I had my 24th birthday, and that's pretty much when I told her to fuck off. But before then, she took me to Rainbow's End for my birthday and stuff, and she goes, "Don't worry, don't pay for it. This is your birthday present." She took me and my daughter to Rainbow's End. We had an awesome day. Went on most of the rides and stuff like that, and of course it was only just two of us. My daughter was too small for all the
Yep.
bigger rides. So, we'd take turns, like, I'd fucking stand there with my daughter, and then she was standing with her daughter, blah, 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 and that's how I met my good friend, Natasha, because we went the second time round, and she's like, "It's all good," because I said to her, "I'm broke, I can afford to get there and get home, but I cannot afford to go to Rainbow's End with you." So I'd been to Rainbow's End with her 3 times, I think.
Yeah.
And she was like, all good, I'll pay for it. Don't worry about it. So I was like, okay, cool as, and went with her and met Natasha and so on, had a really good day. And then a few weeks later, she convinced me and my old friend Kaz to go to Rainbow's End. And she said that she'd pay for me again because I said to her, "Look, I really don't have money to be doing these sorts of things." And then we eventually went, and then she turned around after I had told her that I had no money, and she said, "I'll pay for you." She goes, "Oh, you have to pay me back." And I'm like, "Dude, you just said that you'll pay for me and not to worry about it. What the fuck?" And she goes, "Oh, well, I can't really afford to keep doing this." And I go, "And I can't really afford to keep going out everywhere where everyone wants me to, but you offered, so I said okay."
So essentially, Michelle was operating under false pretenses, and she was basically dishing out false promises, and then she was basically turning it into a loan type thing, and she was basically saying, "Oh, okay, if I'm paying for you, you'll pay me back." And so basically, she was saying one thing 1 minute, and she was doing the opposite. So in other words, she was being a hypocrite.
Yep. And the fucked up thing is she was buying all my older clothes, so which really grosses me out now that I think about it. She's got all my old clothes, like size 12 and shit, and she's wearing it. So it's just like, ooh, she's wearing my old clothes. Ooh.
It is. That sounds kind of creepy, actually. I mean,
was-
I understand if it was hand-me-downs and you don't want them anymore, but if she's buying old clothing just to wear them, that actually sounds a little bit creepy.
Yeah, well, apparently she still wears them because I've got friends that fucking see her around and shit like that. Because I've got friends all fucking all over Auckland and people that live in Silverdale and all sorts, and they see her and they know who she is.
Yeah.
But she doesn't know who they are. So she still owes me, just in the clothing alone that she's bought, a good 150, and she's only paid me about out of the total amount of 300, she's only given me 150.
True.
Oh, sorry, only owes me 150. So I will pre-warn any viewers. I have dyslexia, ADD, and those two together when I'm trying to explain shit might make you think, what the fuck is this chick on? But
That's cool.
yeah,
That's cool. I mean, with
just put
the people that are going to be viewing this, just bear in mind that Letitia does suffer from these. So please do not give her any grief in regards to this. She's already got enough to deal with as it is.
yeah, and it doesn't help that I'm pregnant with twins, so my brains are pretty much like scrambled
your
eggs right now.
hormones will be all over the place and they'll be on fire. So, yeah, and your mind's racing faster than what it already is.
Yeah, trying to remember what I can,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how did everything? Now, I'm going to ask, how did everything get very sour between you and Michelle? I mean, just like, how did everything just manifest into this big explosion? How did that all, like, basically it was like a war of it was not like World War III, but it just became a visceral cyber war that you guys were having, and it's been happening for quite some time, apparently, from what you've been saying.
Yeah, well, it was in 2015 after I got back from my trip to Westport, and she'd won us tickets to go see one of my favourite bands, Good Shirt and stuff, and it was around that time I started experiencing really bad breast pain, and I couldn't figure out what it was or why I was in agony for a good week. And she knew that, because I've also got depression, she knew that I had depression have depression, and I'm on medication for it. And ironically, it's the same shit she's on, that she claims to be on, which is anti-triptyline.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
Yeah, and she was like, oh, it's your medication, blah, 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 and keeps sending me screenshots of the side effects. And I said to her, look, leave it alone. You're not a doctor. I will talk to my doctor first and see what they say.
That's what any normal person would. That's what any normal person would do, considering the fact that going through friends and looking up some shitty screenshot up on WebMD does not really count as medical advice. It might help. It might help as a little bit of medical research, but seeing an actual doctor does actually count as normal, proper medical advice.
Yeah. Anyway, she was like, well, I've been on anti-triptyline for 6 years. I should know. I know better. My doctor, blah, 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 blah. My doctor's been for 30 years, blah, blah, blah. I said, I don't give a shit. I don't care. You're not a professional doctor. You do not know what actual pain I'm having, because in the list it said that the only thing that was remotely close to what I was feeling was chest pain. Yeah. Chest and breast are two different things. Breast is, a whole different bunch of tissue, where chest is entirely underneath it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if I was feeling chest pain, I wouldn't be able to breathe and stuff like that. It was entirely different. I felt like someone had hit me in the fucking chest with a baseball bat. Ew. And it was horrible.
It would be too, I would imagine so.
I couldn't bend over, I couldn't do anything. It was horrible. And especially when you're a plus-size woman with the massive tits that fucking hurt your back to begin with, it's the last thing you need is more added stress and pain on your breasts.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the last thing that you need.
Yeah. So I went to the doctor because I gave in. I thought, fuck, I need to sort this out. I talked both to a nurse as well as my doctor, who has been a doctor for 50 years. He's a bit of a dumbass because he, believed that the other half was faking shit. But, I believed his word because he's dealt with people firsthand on this medication. Because he's the one that prescribed it to me.
Yes.
And he said, no, darling. There is no way in hell what you're experiencing has anything to do with your medication. Whoever told you is a complete dumbass. And I repeated exactly what he said to me to her, and she did not like it at all.
Yeah.
And she kept bombarding me while I was at the doctor's. I said, you know what, Michelle, can you just fuck off for now? I said, I'm in pain right now. I'm still waiting for what my next step is at the doctor's, and you just won't shut the fuck up, and you're insisting that my doctor is wrong and that you're right.
Yeah.
And you've only had 6 years experience on the medication, where he's had how many medical years experience compared to you at all.
A lot more than
And
what Michelle would ever have.
yeah. And he did a proper feel of my breast, and he actually found two lumps that were really suspicious. And he said, "Look, I'm going to send you through to North Shore Hospital and get you checked over because this is really serious. The fact that I found abnormal lumps on you that you couldn't find, and you're experiencing pain, I'm a bit worried for you, and this definitely has nothing to do with your medication." And that was the day that my heart sank. I was like, shit, I'm only 24. There's no way in hell I should be having breast cancer. I want to have more kids in the future and breastfeed. This is really not fair. And she just wouldn't shut up. And I turned around and said, you know what? Fuck off, Michelle. I want nothing to do with you anymore. You can't be a supportive a friend in my time of need. I could have fucking breast cancer and you're still sitting there bitching, saying that it's my medication, even though my doctor has said otherwise and I've given you evidence.
And this is what I found myself with Michelle. She's a very unsupportive person, and she's always trying to pretend that she's always right. But from my perspective, from what you've said so far, is that Michelle basically just thought that she was above all and be all of like medicaldom, but realistically, Michelle didn't contribute positive to the issue.
No, unfortunately, she does not like to be proved wrong. Sadly, I can be the same, but I do admit and say sorry.
Yeah.
But she does not like to be proved wrong, and as soon as she's proved wrong, she will set anything out to fucking make you look like a dumbass.
Oh yeah.
And then cry wolf.
Yeah, I've experienced that firsthand. Did you know of a person back in 2014 that was helping, that actually had her under a production company at the time?
No, it wasn't until a friend told me, so I had to use a friend's account to stalk. I had to use a friend's account to stalk her to find out all that information.
That was me.
Yeah.
That was me. When Pasadilla Productions started up in February 2014, Michelle was my initial 2IC. Now, that was very short-lived. Very, very short-lived. What happened was, Michelle wanted me to move closer to her. Now,
it's unrealistic, but yeah.
It was unrealistic. It was very, because the thing is, a majority of the recording studios and a majority of the artist bases are around either West Auckland, North Shore, or Central. And since that there's access to studios in Central, like there's Roundhead Studios being one, that would have helped me accommodate what I wanted to do. Like if I ever needed to do drum tracks, I could easily rent that out for them, for the artists, at the artist's expense, and I could just be the producer. The thing was that Michelle didn't take that into consideration. We basically fell out because she didn't get her way, and I refused to bow down to her. She basically turned around and said that I was a scammer, blah, 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 blah. But the funny thing is, I wanted to move more centralized rather than living in Bumpkinsville fucking out the side of Auckland.
Yeah.
And she didn't take that into any consideration, and this is where Michelle's unsupportive demeanor really shined through. I only had one instance of that happening with Michelle, and it just ended. It just ended abruptly. It didn't last too long. I deleted posts. I put up posts on the Pasadilla Productions Facebook page saying that, reiterating that this was not a scam, this was legit. Do not take any notice of her. She's just disgruntled, and the fact that she didn't want to get her way with me. And that died down. It died down immediately, and she didn't do what she was set out to do. I didn't speak with her for about 2 years and 2 months, up until April of last year. And then she spoke to me on OkCupid. I was on there just out of randomness. I was just bored out of my brains, and I saw her profile Skull Candy M, and
Which is pretty fucking obvious. She never changes anything. You're
oh
like,
no,
it's easy to find anything.
oh god no.
It's easy to find her.
Now when she PM'd me, I was like, okay, what the fuck do you want? I was like, okay, if you're gonna cause any shit with me, don't go there. But she
Yeah.
was like, oh no. I mean, the hatchet's already buried. It was a long time ago, and I've changed a lot since then. And I was like, yeah, I can see you've lost a bit of weight, and you've obviously changed for the better.
Yeah.
Then I introduced her to my partner, and I introduced her. I introduced her to Raven, and Raven was a little bit skeptical of her because of the history that me and Michelle had.
And a woman's intuition is always right.
Oh, of course, definitely. And then, at the time I was in a band called Ivy Blue, if you remember back that far. I was in two bands. I was doing, and I was in two bands. I've been doing J Solo Project forever, and I was a bass player in Ivy Blue. I think shortly after my first gig at Valhalla last year, which was the Play the Better Game gig that we headlined. And I became bass player by default in Ivy Blue because he wanted to work with me at the time, and it was sweet as.
Yeah.
And we were looking for a booking manager because I was getting I was feeling the stress a lot because when you're recording, when you're in two bands, and when you're trying to book gigs, everything gets piled up, and you don't get much sleep. Now, the question rose up. Well, we needed a booking agent, and we needed a booking agent pronto. And Michelle put her hands up. I'll do it. And that's
when I learned about it.
Yeah, that was back in 2016. That was last year. And she was coming up with venue.
Grab it, bring it to me. Sorry,
That's
my
all right.
4-year-old.
That's okay.
Yeah.
She was coming up with venue ideas, and we were asking her, okay, can you contact them? And she said she contacted them. She wasn't using our email, and she wasn't using anything else. Now, there's a video on Daily Motion. I think I posted it up on Scumwatch with after the fallout with James and I that I mentioned details about the Indian tour, and also other tours that came up fruitless because of Michelle.
Yeah.
And also another thing is with Michelle, she quickly developed a bad reputation among the metal community. And and she was getting bombarded, and she was saying that she was getting bombarded, and I came to the rescue as always, and I said, hey, look, ease up on her and stuff, and that's how it basically went down. That's right at the beginning. But Michelle developed a quick reputation because of her being a lippy little bitch. She basically...
That doesn't surprise anyone, but yeah.
Yeah, she became very, very, very badly recognized, and I nearly copped it in the ass as well. And things became very fruitless, and I can remember, I think probably by the time that she got by the time when she got fired, she was very, very slack. And I think around about probably just not long after my birthday, she comes down. She comes down to my place, surprised the hell out of me, and she stayed for a couple of days.
Fuck knows where she gets the money for that sort of shit. She can't even hold a job for a month.
Really? Holy shit.
I hear about it because she thinks that my friends are her friends. In reality, they're not.
Yeah.
They really don't fucking like her. And I won't say who because I don't want her any drama starting up. But she really doesn't know who's on her Facebook list. She really doesn't know. And she's dumb enough to believe that everyone's on her side.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting to know this because it's going more in our favor then, considering that her friends are pretending to be her friend just out of I don't know what, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think some of these people should really know what sort of person she really is.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not like I get information all the time, but when something that my friends feel I should know personally, they will screenshot shit and send it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Another question. Now, she was a member of the animal buy-sell trades in Auckland, wasn't she?
Yes.
All right. Can you tell me the situation in regards to that, if possible?
My post that I made about her.
No. In general. I mean, her overall reputation, like what you heard from other traders and the admins.
I've heard that people have given her animals that have died, through conversation and shit. But I am busy right now. I will deal with it later. Just watch your cartoon. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah. I'm sitting there trying to apologise to me for breaking a piece of glass. Anyway, as I was saying, see this thing about pregnancy, you know where you're at and as soon as you're distracted. You know, I made a post because I found out that she's got like guinea pigs, or had guinea pigs. She decided to start copying me because my old friend Kaz made the mistake of telling her that I have guinea pigs, so she went out and got some as well.
Yeah.
And I was really concerned for their health because I know the way she treated her dog. And guinea pigs, they've got very, very sensitive immune systems, and they need regular upkeep and care on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And you need to have time for them. And so I made a post saying, look, please look out for this girl. I'm really worried for the welfare of the guinea pigs. And from what I was told by a close friend of mine who let her live with her, that the caravan she was sleeping in, she would always keep her dog her little chihuahua locked up in there all the time.
Yeah.
And when she went in there to clean up after Michelle had moved out, there were dirty fucking not tampons, but fucking pads everywhere. The floor was disgusting. There was piss and shit all over the place. She said it took her and her partner days to clean it up. But just on that alone, she said that she wouldn't take her dog for a walk, would barely take a dog for a walk. And, and she also, at one point while I was friends with her, blamed her mother for killing her white chihuahua. She had a white chihuahua as well, and apparently the gate was left open. It got out, and I said, "Dude, your dog's your responsibility. It's not your mother's responsibility to make sure your dog's locked up. It should be safe. If you do not want your animals getting out and getting hit, then you need to make sure that they are safe before you leave that house, not your family, unless you've asked them to."
Exactly.
And she really didn't like it.
Exactly.
No,
they have to be. If you're the owner of the pet, you're responsible for it, and that's a natural instinct. You can't dump your pets on other people.
Yeah, like one lady commented saying that she'd given her an animal. I can't remember what it was. It was a big animal. So from memory, it could have been a horse. I'm not too sure. But apparently they were never fed. They were always in a fucking muddy paddock and shit like that, and they were just really, really malnourished and malnourished.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, my dyslexia is kicking in.
Jesus Christ, fucking horse?
I'm not too I think it might have been like a mixed horse or something. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that because I'm only going based on my memory right now, not from what I've seen.
And that sounds pretty serious.
Yeah, one lady introduced me and said that I've been to her house, those guinea pigs are fine, blah, blah, blah. Then I found out through an old friend of mine who lives down the road from me who was stalking her on purpose and pretending to be this guy, which I've probably blown her cover now. Sorry. Pretending to be this guy. Yeah, pretending to be this guy and flirting with Michelle because we thought, fuck it, let's have some fun because at that stage Michelle hadn't left me alone. So I thought, you know what, let's have some fun. Let's, fuck with her head a bit. And I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this too, but my friend Sam almost succeeded in her fucking getting locked up in the mental hospital.
Well, obviously Michelle deserves it in that instance. I mean, The funny thing is, but from my analysis of this, that Michelle needs to be charged for for animal abuse.
Yeah, Sam has actually, because Michelle sent photos to Sam, the fake, we won't say the fake account's name,
Yeah.
but sent photos to Sam of the guinea pigs, and apparently she was disgusted. She said that it broke her heart that she saw the guinea pigs in that state. They were living in their own feces, which is a massive no-no. That can give them massive upper respiratory infections and can kill them almost instantly.
Oh, fully.
Or a slow. Usually, when that sort of thing happens, it's a very slow, horrible death. And I've had to deal with guinea pigs dying before, and it's not very nice because I used to be a proper breeder, but now that I'm pregnant, I've laid off the breeding and just gone back to just keeping my pets.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna have no time and no money to run after fucking 10 guinea pigs and feed them, plus fucking deal with twins.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I've rehomed a bunch of them and stuff like that, and now I'm just down to 4 pets, which is good. Yeah, and apparently, and then she turned around and said to me, "Oh yeah, they're dead." And I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Yeah, they didn't last very long." And I went, "Are you for fucking real?" So all I can imagine is those 2 guinea pigs. One was a white one with a spot on its head, from what I remember seeing and what I shared, and the other one was a dark coloured one, possibly black or brown. And yeah, all I can think was, holy shit, those guinea pigs would have died a horrific death in the most horrible state you can think of. And they've got a really sensitive diet too. Like, you've got to give them certain things and stuff like that. You like treats like carrots and stuff like that. You can only give them once a week because it's high in sugars and stuff like that. And that could also possibly kill them if you overfeed them. And yeah, it really worried me. I was just like, holy shit, what animal is she going to move on to next?
Let's hope she doesn't move on to lizards.
I've been called SPCA myself. So did my mate Sam, and everybody else I know of has called SPCA on her. And she found out. Don't know how she found out that I did, and then fucking threw a hissy fit. Oh, rah, you called SPCA on me, blah blah blah. I've done nothing wrong. Hurt my animals. I'm like, I called it SPCA because your guinea pigs died of serious conditions.
Exactly. I mean, if Michelle's not going to accept any fucking responsibility in this sort of instance, why is she doing this? You know, I mean, this is the thing. When you're a pet breeder, you make sure that your pets are not going to fucking die. All right?
It's common sense. It's
common sense.
It's like having a child. You put their welfare first. If you can't do that, then why the fuck breed?
Exactly.
Like, I'm sorry, this sounds really nasty, but I hope like fuck someone calls fucking child youth and family on her as soon as she decides to have a kid or get pregnant, because
apparently she cannot have kids. Apparently she's unable to have kids, from what she's told me. But that's none of my business. If she can have them, you know, call child youth.
What are we going to believe? On her. I mean, at the end of the day, what are we going to believe? A little liar or...
Oh, exactly. I mean, if she ever decides to have kids, if she ever finds anyone...
that she's having kids, I'm straight away on the fucking phone to the...
exactly. I mean, if she's a negligent person with pets, she's a shitty person with kids. I mean, I mean... Looking after a pet is like looking after a child. You put their welfare first, you look after them, and you fucking make sure that your pet is not going to die. You know, and this is the funny thing, and this is where Michelle claims irresponsibly that she turns around and says that she's the victim. And this is why Michelle has this major victim complex. She turns around and spins it around on everybody else. And she blames everyone else. She doesn't accept any responsibility. But yet, the responsibility all pins back to her. And, you know, it all centers around back on Michelle, and we all, and she likes to turn around and go, nah.
Why did you do that? You're talking shit.
Exactly. She is a compulsive fucking liar. She has this over-exaggerated victim complex to where it just basically is made her out to... She's like the boy who cried wolf. And and every time she cries wolf, everyone who is unaware of the situation, or these social justice libtards that actually sympathize for her, they turn around and go, "Oh, are you right?"
And then there's so quick to then turn around and abuse the poor people that have done nothing wrong.
It was like when I put up on fucking Scumwatch, when I posted that up. That Talitha lady, who the fuck is she?
Oh, her? She didn't like the fact that I had found out that a lady that I was living with, her and her partner literally stole from me. At that stage, I was pregnant with my daughter when that incident occurred.
Yeah.
And my bag went missing, and $800 and jewelry and everything that was in it was gone.
Fuck.
And I got my bag back with all the money and shit gone. And it was funny how I put it on my bed, and then like fucking 30 minutes later, go back down there to go grab my bag because I needed to pay my rent and or my board at that stage, and it had fucking magically disappeared, and I was freaking the fuck out. They went, her partner went down the road by himself and found it in the bus stop, and I found out down the line that it was them that actually stole it, and I was beyond upset, and I just made a post going, look, all I want back is my ring that my father gave me for my 16th birthday. That's all I want. I don't care that you did it. I just want it back. Yeah. And she threw a massive fucking hissy fit saying that Talitha jumped on board and threw a massive hissy fit calling me a liar and all of this shit. And that
I saw those posts up on Scumwatch. I think the post is still up there.
Yeah, and like she said, oh, I know exactly what you've been doing. Kelly's told me everything. I'm like, do you know Kelly's a pathological liar? Do you know that? Like, and then because she kept fucking attacking me, so I decided to privately message her and attack her back, and then blocked her. Yeah. And then she didn't like that, and I ended up unblocking her in the end. It was just like, fuck, that was like a year or so ago, that, And now when I was like, oh, just agreeing that, her personality matches her face sort of thing, which I do regret because I'm not that sort of person.
Actually, I'm not going to be PC in this whole thing. I think... I don't see the point in having this PC ideology and saying what you have to say. If you want to say it, you fucking say it at the end of the day. And you were right that the personality does match the face. And this is where people turn around and took such grandeur offense to it, to where, she practically, that some people on that post turned around and said, oh, now you're being offensive. It's like, fucking Jesus Christ. Aren't we allowed to have any say without the PC police fucking dishing out their hand of fucking social goddamn justice? Yeah. It's like...
Well, that's why I jumped on Talitha straight away and I said, what's your bloody problem with me? I've done nothing to you other than fucking, stomp on you when you stomped on me. And she just kept going on and on, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, prove it.
It was like when when me and that dude, that guy turned around and said, well, it said something about her weight. And I agreed with, and I was laughing with it, and I was like, this is why
Talitha was the one that was sitting there picking on me about my weight, and I'm like, and? Yeah, I'm fat, and what? That doesn't offend me.
Exactly. Actually, I'll find the post. Let me find the post. Oh, that's to my mother. Hang on.
I'd find it, but my phone is like attached to the thing.
Yeah, no, I can find the post easy. Hang on.
Yeah.
Let's go much for. This is all, by the way, being screenshotted, by the way. So sorry if I can find it. Here we go. Here we fucking go. Alright, let me find that. She looks like a bush pig. I love that. I fucking love that.
What's so common with that name, bush pig? Everyone seems to call everyone bush pig. Why?
Well, a bush pig, basically, in my opinion, what a bush pig is, it rolls around in its own shit, it festers, and it smells like anus. That's what a bush pig is. She basically has the personality of a bush pig.
So, by the way, anyone watching didn't know that is not a sex toy. It is
look,
a fucking Batman charger. My daughter was
it
fucking
looks
playing
like
with
a fucking sex toy. It looks like one of those fucking
it.
vibrators.
Charger.
It looks like that's a battery charger. That's a
It's
fuck.
a fucking back massager,
Oh.
not battery charger.
Yeah.
It was given to the other half when he had issues with his lower back.
Oh, you just get all the lactic acid out of his back. Yeah, that helps
Yeah, no,
greatly.
because he's got two cracked vertebrae. That's why. So his boss gave this to him to help his back, and he was going to sell it. And I said, no, I'll keep my hands on it. And he goes, why? And I go, because I'm pregnant, my sciatic nerve is going to go fucking out the window,
yeah.
and I'm going to need some pain relief.
I've permanently
It
pinched.
fucking looks like one of those fuck off dildos, but it's not. It's actually a fucking Remington, legit Remington fucking back massager.
Yeah, it looks like a big vibrator that you rub
I
on your
had to
pussy.
put it out there because I know when you upload this video, people are gonna go and start commenting mad.
Luckily, this isn't a live stream. Thank fuck for that.
Yeah.
If they'll be like, what the fuck is she holding up a fucking pussy rubber for? I was like thinking that myself. I was like thinking, damn, I think I should get one for Raven when she's lonely. But anyway, let's get back on. Let's get back on.
Powerful, you wouldn't want to use it down there. Trust me.
Yeah,
It would fucking kill you.
I've seen them. Anyway, let's get back on topic here. I mean, all right.
Yeah.
All right, Ben's Ramoni. Here we go. This is the post comment. These are some of the comments that Ben's Ramoni said. If I can find them. Shit, Jesus, where the fuck are they? I know he said something. Renee Johnson said Hurricane Reuben Carter.
I don't know what that one means, but yeah.
Me neither. Alison Holmes basically said to you, Michelle, Letitia Coop has multiple profiles and isn't a stable personality.
Which is kind of funny.
Which is kind of funny. I caught her out last year. Hardly a reliable witness. Well, in my opinion, you are a reliable witness, considering the fact that you've dealt with this person for the last 6 years. You dealt with.
And I actually, after speaking to her, I said, I don't know what you're on about. I even personally made that fucking video public for her to go through the profile and try and prove me otherwise. I said to her, I really don't know what you're on about. I said, I have never gone out of my way to try and make myself look better when everybody else is doing that all for me.
Exactly. And you were actually right in that one as well. I mean, when you started posting, because I think you started posting, when you posted up, Alison Holmes, you know who I am? You don't even know me, let alone had contact with me, so God knows what you're playing at. I only have 3 accounts, and I've only seen 2 of them. And this is
using
yeah. And you use Letitia George, and the only one I use is this one. And, you have one for photography, and you've got one for family, and I've seen the one with your photography one, and that's actually pretty cool. So yeah, and that's and that is pretty cool. And that's I've seen some of the posts, and I've seen what she's been saying and what she has been saying. She kind of flubbed up when she said only have 3 accounts. Oh, I stand corrected. Yeah. And,
I wasn't hiding anything, and I mean, who would be dumb enough to use their own account with the same fucking name and comment on the video pretending to be somebody else? I mean, come on.
Exactly. And you would never pretend to be anybody else. I mean, unless if it was to snuff somebody out. But I mean, ever since I've spoken to you, ever since me and you have been friends, you've been straight up and pretty honest with me. You've been speaking off your own accounts. And the same with me too. I mean, when you knew me on this account, you were thinking, "Fuck, who is this?" for a second. I was like, "Oh, it's Jevon, the one with the South Park episode, the one with the blah 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 blah." Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I question every fucking account you add me
you
to.
had every right to, and I was like,
Yeah,
hey, no, it's
yeah.
fine. It's this is my
Michelle
other
fucking
account.
did that. I snapped Michelle out at one point. She fucking commented on a post of mine on Letties Life calling me fucking fat and ugly. And I had stalked the profile, found that it was fake, and then found that she was friends with Jessica on it. And
Yeah.
turned around straight away, asked Jessica, going, do you know this person? And she goes, yes, but he doesn't have two accounts. So she, I said, can you question him because this is what he said on my account. And he goes, that's not my account. That's entirely fake.
Which account
And
was this one? Was this the fake one of my ones?
no, I can't fucking remember the name off the top of my head. But yeah. Oh, I've got the screenshots and I'd show you, but it's not on me right now.
That's cool. Just flip me the screenshots whenever you can, and
Yeah,
we'll put
I
them
will.
in the, we'll put them in the bin file.
More as well. So and then we caught her out. So I messaged the account and blasted the fuck out of her, and I said, look, you need to stop your fucking games, mate. You need to stop making fake accounts under other people's names and fucking pretending that you're someone you're not. Stop fucking stalking us.
I had the recent instances with Michelle while she was friends with us again this time around. She actually made a fake account of me promoting my new song and sending death threats to the NZ Metal Whinge fucking admins.
Which reminds me, after this call, what I'll do is go through my account, remove all of your other accounts, and just have your main one that you're talking to me at the moment.
Well,
just
I've got the one. I have one. Just keep my main two, because if there's any other fake accounts, flick them.
Send me screenshots after the call, and I'll know which ones to keep.
Make sure that keep the screenshots of the real, keep the screenshots of the fake ones, and send them to me. Because I
know she could actually be talking to me now on an account, and I could be, I could have been gullible enough to think it was you.
Yeah, well, I'm not that type.
I'll do the same thing with Ravens as well.
Yeah, that'll be great. Send that all to both of us. I mean, at the moment I'm recording from an undisclosed location, and I'm not allowed to talk to Raven at this moment.
Poor thing.
Yeah, it's a bit of a grim situation, but you already know.
That happened. That's the thing with Michelle. She puts her nose on where it doesn't fucking belong.
I've actually heard that she's done this before. Apparently, I've heard a story that she's done this before, from my knowledge too. Did you know about the Indian married guy that she was having sex with?
Ooh, no. Oh, gross. She's even trying to copy me with Indian men? That is nasty. When did that start happening?
Last year, apparently. Well, last year she was having sex with... She was having sex with a married Indian guy. She actually taunted his wife. She actually taunted the guy's wife.
Oh my god, what the fuck is wrong with her now? She's trying to copy me with untasted men?
Yeah.
That is nasty. Fuck, she's obsessed. It's the fucking hair colour in my clothes. Now it's the taste of men.
Yeah.
She actually admitted to one of my mates that she tried to split me and my other half up.
Yeah.
Yeah, she actually admitted it because she was jealous.
She actually tried to split you and your man up.
Yeah, we won't bring his name in.
No, we aren't going to bring his name in. That's fine. But can you tell me the story surrounding that, if possible? If you could.
She was just talking shit to him and stuff like that, saying that I was doing things and stuff like that. And I almost fucking said his name. And he.
We'll call him Bob. We'll call him Bob, shall we? We'll call your man Bob, shall we? We'll call him Bob. Hi, Bob.
He has access to my phone. He knows my passcode to both my phones.
That's cool.
He has my password to my Facebook and all my other accounts. So, if he was worried that I was doing anything I wasn't, he could stalk me hard out to prove my innocence. And
exactly.
It was disgusting, She had admitted to my mate down the line that she was trying to split us up, and she goes, "Good fucking luck, mate. They know each other like the back of their hands."
Wow. So she does have a reputation for doing this sort of thing.
Yep, so it's not just you guys that she's tried to split up, it's me as well.
No.
She's tried to split up Jessica and, ironically, Michelle's ex, because apparently Michelle's ex was dating Jessica.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, so as soon as I don't know what's with the ex thing, because that's how it started with Michelle and me. But her stalking me was because I was living at David's house. Like he was she was. I don't even know how the fuck she got on my friends list. I don't even know she was there because I had like fucking 600 friends at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And she would comment on every post I made about being pregnant with my 5-year-old daughter. This was going on 6 years ago, sort of thing. And she's like, I bet it's David's. Oh, it's got to be David's. Oh my God, it's not an Indian's, it's David's, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what the fuck? Who is this nut job? And I just had a conversation, with me and David, he was just like, oh, how's your day? And I'm like, pretty fucked up, actually. And he goes, what do you mean? I'm like, some fucking crazy bitch is commenting on my shit saying that I'm pregnant with your baby. What the fuck? And he goes, oh, who's this? Out of curiosity, because he thought it was funny too. And I said, some chick called Michelle Jade. And he fucking burst into laughter and he goes, oh, ignore that bitch. She's just nothing but a fucking nut job, mate. And I'm like, well, what's your history with her? And he goes, oh, well, can't remember how they met, but that they were dating back when she was 16. Yeah. And he'd taken her virginity and shit, and she'd become obsessed with him and stuff. And when he realised that she was fucking truly loopy, he tried to get the fuck out of there. And she still, to this day, tries to call him and text him and contact him on Facebook.
Now you've had to call the police on her a number of occasions, haven't you?
Yes, because as soon as I told her, look, fuck off, leave me alone, she would then send me texts saying, oh, well, you owe me money, blah, blah, blah. You've got 3 weeks to pay it off, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't owe you shit, fuck off. And then she calls me a fat pig and shit like that, or a fat cow or something, and I'm like, and? So what? I'm a cow, moo. Good for you.
The question is, that I would like to raise up is, why didn't the police intervene on Michelle in regards to the harassment that she's been given?
I gave them the evidence. They said all they can do is give her a warning, and that was it. But the thing is, they've given her so many warnings. I'm surprised that they haven't actually physically done anything yet.
I'm surprised as well. I'm actually very surprised as well, considering the fact that she's stalking people. She's doing this and she's openly harassing, and it's on Facebook. I mean, people have...
Her excuse for not actually physically arresting her and charging her is because she hasn't actually given us any form of death threats. She hasn't, threatened us in any way.
It's still not the excuse. The cops should have actually arrested her, should have had her up for harassment. Had her on harassment charges.
It's on that borderline, eh?
It's beyond that borderline. It's actually way gone beyond that borderline, actually, to be honest.
Them, what they see of allegations and stuff, they see it as a borderline thing that what's going to happen sort of thing. That she'd have to do something a little bit more serious in order to get charged or jailed.
The thing is, harassment charges and stalker charges are actually quite serious. Now, considering the fact...
I don't get why she hasn't had them charged, I've given all evidence.
Exactly. I mean, you've given them a pile of evidence. And she's not only done it to one person, she's done it to a whole multitude of them, apparently.
It could also be a possibility that her father used to be in the army, and that because her father used to be in the army, that he might have those loopholes and have someone in the fucking police force that are just shrugging it off.
It's pretty corrupt.
Yeah, that's all I can think of why she's not been charged, is because her father's an army fucking person, that the police are just going to go, oh, well, her father's a veteran, let it be, sort of thing.
That doesn't excuse the fact of what his daughter is doing. There should be some sort of justice happening in regards to this, because stalking, in your case, it's going to affect not only yourself, but it's going to affect your family unit, and it's going to affect your kids. Because if it's going to, what happens if it gets to that point where she starts harming you in front of your kids? That alone is that alone.
Oh, she's scared of me. She knows I'll beat the shit out of her if she comes anywhere near me.
I mean, what happens if she, just out of? I mean, I'm not going to say it will happen, but what happens if she starts bringing in firearms or some shit and does a drive-by on you in front of your fucking family? And that can be, quite potentially fatal. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's gonna happen, but it can happen in these sort of instances, with people as unpredictable as that, and with the mental capacity that she has. She has the capacity of actually bringing something very dangerous to it, and the fact that the police refuse to do anything about it, or obviously they're taking her side.
Well, the day it happens and she actually fucking physically hurts someone and it ends up in the news, I will happily contact the fucking news reporters and go, well, actually, this has been an ongoing issue. We've contacted the police have done nothing. So theoretically, if the police did their fucking job, she'd be in jail and no one would be dead or no one would be hurt.
I mean, look at Natalia Burgess. About several years ago. Did you follow on that story? Natalia Burgess, the face of a cyber stalker, the one who
I should look it up.
She strung along. What happened was that she created all these fake profiles on Tagged and on Facebook, and she strung all these guys along.
Yeah.
Pretending that she was in relationships with them and stuff, and she pretended that she had this daughter, and she mimicked this little girl saying mummy's on drugs and all that, and these guys used to give her money, they used to give her respect, and she basically was a complete narcissist in her own right anyway.
Yeah.
Now, what happened was one of the guys actually committed suicide because of her. Now, she was, I don't know what she was jailed for, alleged. It was for a raft of charges, at least anyway. But considering the fact that people like this do exist on social media and on the internet, I think it's about time something needs to be done, because it can happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to delve into my charges here for a second here, but they are actually serious to the point where I could potentially go to jail. And she just sits there, smokes a fucking joint, and fucking gets away with it. And the thing is,
yeah, of course you can smoke a joint because her father fucking grows it.
Yeah, we're not gonna release that information, by the way, because I think people do know that he's a drug dealer, but that's we will not delve into too much of that. But it goes without saying that people like Michelle are dangerous people, because they can really cause harm to not only people in marriages, but they could also cause harm to the kids that are affected in those marriages too. I mean, I'm not from a divorced family or anything, and I have not been in a divorced family. My parents are still together, but disruptions of the family unit can psychologically affect a kid, and kids can be quite impressionable, and they do not take things serious. They do not take things lightly either.
It makes me wonder, because she is an only child and her parents aren't together, that maybe because she's come from a broken home herself, that's why she's so fucked up. But that's sort of giving her an excuse and a reason, and I shouldn't be saying that. But there's also a thing called punishment. There's also a thing called discipline.
Exactly.
There's also a thing called boundaries.
Exactly.
And I don't think she had any of that.
I don't think she even had any of those boundaries, in my opinion. I mean, mind you,
she knew what fucking boundaries were. She wouldn't be doing this sort of shit.
Oh, exactly. And if she had any sort of a filter, I think Michelle would not have done what she have done to both of us. And actually, I spoke to another guy named Aaron Brutal Potter. He actually posted up on Name and Shame NZ. And this was just after I posted my one up about Michelle, and I saw his post, and when I got to talking, now if I can pull up the excerpts from that chat, if I could find them.
So you had to run with her as well, has he?
Well, hang on, let me run through the chat transcripts here. He said to me, "Sup, dude," and I said, "Hey, dude, could be a bit better." So you had, this is what I said, so you had run-ins with one Michelle Jade. He said, I have, unfortunately, and I asked how bad. He actually calls her the Blob.
Okay, yeah, carry on.
He calls her the Blob. And I said to her, she is much more than that, I can assure you that, bro. Well, this is what he said to me. She was a friend of some friends, which are no longer her friends, except maybe one. Her best friend and only friend, Kaz.
Kaz doesn't talk to her anymore.
Yeah, well, he doesn't. He hasn't spoken too much about him. And I actually asked, did she mention a Letty, which was referring to you?
Yeah.
And he says, and a friend of one of my exes from Aussie as well. I formerly met her when I rode up to Auckland on my motorbike to catch up with one of my best mates who lived with her and her dad. I think she was referring to Sean, I think. Do you know a guy named Sean Hurley?
I have heard of a Sean because I used to hang out with Kaz. I used to know Kaz really well, and I've heard of her talking about a guy called Sean.
Sean actually used to go. Sean and I go back from high school, from the Liston College days.
Yeah.
He's living with her currently.
What, living with Michelle or living with Kaz?
Living with Michelle.
As far as I know, Kaz lives with her mum still.
I don't know Kaz, so I wouldn't really comment or speculate on anything. Yeah,
I'm just saying what I know. I'm just saying what I know, yeah.
Yep, I don't know Kaz from a bar of soap, so I really wouldn't know there.
Oh, trust me, you probably wouldn't want to anyway.
Yeah, and it was like, no, I don't think. It was like, no, I don't think so. This is after me asking him if he knew you. He said, no, I don't. No, I don't think I listened to too much of her babble about other people. She probably did, but that's all she talks about is other people. And I said, oh yeah, and how she wrecks lives and whatnot. I'm one of them, bro. I just wish she stopped existing. I have multiple accounts of hers blocked on Facebook. Yeah, and I told him about the two accounts, Michelle Jade and Michelle K. Jade. Those are the only two that he knew of. Apparently she has others under a different name, and he asked if I was a muso, and he flicked me a copy of a guitar track. And I commented saying that he's got a killer tone, and it was Zakk Wylde inspired from what he said. And I sent him I sent him one of my songs. And yeah, I mean, he asked what happened to me. Yeah, she causes it wherever she goes. She is trash, and from what I said, I said there are rumors that she caused mayhem to at least 20 others as well, and he said those rumors are probably true.
Yeah.
He was like, we know where she lives, and I gave him her address. Oh fuck, I better block that out. Sorry. But yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it there, really. But yeah, Michelle is pretty well known in the. She is very widely known, and she's quite hated, from what I've seen. I've seen other posts up about her as well over the years, but I didn't get a chance to screenshot them. But yeah, apparently there's, from what you said in the conversation that we've had on the phone when I was on the streets, when I was talking to you at the Wellington BK, that she's done this to other people as well. Can you please elaborate on that for me a little bit?
Well, that's as we were talking about Jess and her ex.
Yeah.
As soon as she started dating her, Michelle was relentlessly stalking her. And at first, when Michelle first told me about this, I actually thought it was Jess that was actually harassing her.
Yeah.
And just like what you did, I was dumb enough and I went, "Can you fucking stop stalking Michelle?" Blah 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 blah. And defended Michelle without knowing the full truth.
Yeah.
Which, unfortunately, I have had the habit of doing that in the past, of jumping the gun before knowing both sides. And, she'd go on about how Michelle, how Michelle would go on about how she had stolen her boyfriend and that she was nothing but a fat slut and blah blah blah. And
Yeah.
at one stage, Jess had lost a baby and she was devastated. And Michelle sat there and made fun at her about it, going, "Ha ha, bitch, she lost a baby, blah blah blah," making all these horrible, horrible remarks. And I even pulled her up on that. I said, yeah, I'm your mate and shit, but you don't fucking say that to anyone, not even the person you hate.
Yeah,
I said,
you
losing
don't
a
say
baby
that.
is no
That's just
fucking joke,
cruel.
mate. It's disgusting. It's no
Oh, yeah.
joke.
Fully.
And yeah, she didn't like me for saying that. And
Well,
she also,
the thing is, you had every fucking right to, man. I mean, someone who just lost their baby and Michelle's picking on them for it, you don't say that shit.
exactly,
That's
and she did
pretty
the same
cruel.
again. She did the same again when she lost a close friend. When this is probably around the time that I stalked her myself to find out find out what had been said about Michelle.
Yeah.
And of course I could because I hadn't blocked her and I could see her account. Her account was quite public at the time, so pretty much everything she posted you could see.
Yeah.
And I saw that she'd lost a friend in a car accident, and Michelle was making horrendous kinds of fun at her. Haha, shame, bitch. That was one bitch that bullied me at school. Blah 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 blah.
Fucking Jesus.
And yeah, and then she mentioned, like, a couple months down the track after being friends with her, she was like, "Oh, I forgot to say something. I didn't really want to because I didn't want to start any drama, but I noticed you're friends with Leslie, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "Yeah, I went to school with her." "Oh, so did I." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I've probably known her a lot longer than you." And she says, "Oh, I went to school with her when I was blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "Yeah, I've known her since I was 12, so, shut your mouth before you start."
Yeah, exactly.
And she's like, "Oh, but she bashed me, blah, blah." And I go, "And what for?" And she goes, "Oh, because her boyfriend was hitting on me." And I'm like, "Bullshit, mate." I caught her out then and there. I said, "Bullshit. She would have bashed you because you would have fucking opened your mouth." And she goes, "Oh." And I snatched her out right then and there and I said, "I don't give a shit about your past, mate, but you don't fucking lie to me about my mates."
Yeah.
I said, "She
She's
would
a
have
complete
beaten shit out of you
backstabber.
because you would have said something that she didn't like, and she probably would have told you to shut up to start with and would have given you fair warning, and you obviously didn't take it."
Yeah.
And she really did not like the fact that I fucking backed my mate up over her. And I talked to Leslie, and Leslie even gave me fair warning. She goes, "Watch your back because this girl's a bit of a fucking nut job."
Oh,
And I'm
yeah.
like, she doesn't. And at that stage, I was like, she doesn't seem it. She's like, she was even in the background going, "Leslie, I'm so sorry for the past, blah blah blah." And I was dumb enough to think that she was being genuine.
Yeah, I don't think there's I don't think there's anything genuine about Michelle. I mean, the funny thing is, in my instance, in my situation with Michelle back in 2016, which was last year,
Yeah.
she was not very genuine. And this is she turned around and pretended to be my friend, and then I invited her and I gave her a job. Okay. Now
Yeah.
answer this question, okay? Whose time are you on if you're employed?
You're on your boss's time. If you've been hired to do a job, that your
Bingo!
job is specifically that.
Bingo! You are fucking right there. Now, you know how Michelle got fired
Yeah.
the second time round?
Yeah.
Her performance came up to review, okay? Her performance came
That's
up to review.
probably around the time that I was stalking your guys' your guys' account thingy as well.
Yes. Okay.
Myself.
Now, her performance came up to review. I was building a cabinet at the time. Now, I didn't really want any part in the meeting because I was busy building my rig at the time.
Yeah.
And what happened was that, considering that, Michelle was just too busy playing Ingress, and we were asking for her for some documentation for the venues, for the gigs that were coming up. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, she didn't give them to us. She turned around and said, "Oh, she'll give them to us whenever she feels like it." I said to her, "No, she's on our time. We need those documents because we wanted to make a tour happen in Auckland." Now, she was like, "Oh, I'm just going out." She only just only care about her social life and that her social life was more
Oh,
important. That
fuck,
we,
social life.
yeah, exactly. Now, when I said to her, okay, well, if that's the case, well, we'll just end the work agreement that you were working with us right there and then.
Yeah.
Now, that was what Raven fired her. Okay, Raven fired her. And then she came running to me saying, "Oh, Raven's picking on me." Nah, 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 nah. And I was like, well, Raven had every reason to fire you. Raven had every reason to do what she needed to do. You didn't deliver. You didn't show us anything. And the fact that you turned around and said, okay, I'd rather focus on my social life and my social life first because that's more important rather than working for you. I said to her, well, I'm sorry, well, we can't have you on our team then. And then she turned around and said to me, because of her,
No.
eh?
Oh, sorry, I'm telling the kid off.
So she was like, because of her, no longer friends. Now, the funny thing is, it was not a personal it was not a personal thing. It was a professional thing. Michelle made it personal. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
sort.
yeah, and she made it personal by trying to unload on NZ Metal, and she basically tried to besmirch me and tried to make me look like a complete fucknut.
Yeah.
However, Michelle practically fucking shot herself in the foot with it. She pretty much screwed herself. She's basically screwed the pooch. And she basically made herself look like a complete fucking idiot in the process. And it was real funny considering the fact that Michelle tried to besmirch me and tried to besmirch my company for the second time, but also doing it in a public forum by unloading all the dirty laundry from what her propaganda is.
And there's one thing Kiwi should fucking know is you never offload any bullshit you don't truly know about.
Exactly.
On a metal or rock page, because that's just asking for someone to fucking shoot you in the...
Oh yes, oh yes. A lot of the only people that actually took his side were the fucking social justice were the liberal fucking feminist social justice warriors. I'm sorry if I sound like a misogynist, but I fucking hate feminazis, man. I fucking hate them. I fucking hate feminists. I'm sorry for sounding...
feminist at times, but only at times.
Yeah, well, you have every right to be empowered, but when they turn around and say patriarchy and all this fucking bullshit and they turn around and virtue signal, they can just fuck off, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Virtue signaling holds no merit, in my opinion, and it's unproductive, and it basically turns around and says that I'm allowed to have my opinion, fuck yours. That's a sort of fucking thing I kind of fucking hate. I hate cunts like that. People like fucking Chanty Banks and Anita Sarkeesian, people like them piss me off. But anyway.
You're not talking about it, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, look up on YouTube. Look up on YouTube. That's all I can say. I spend a lot of time on YouTube and I do a lot of research in regards to that.
I don't spend enough time on YouTube.
No, I spend too much time on YouTube. I think it pisses Raven off sometimes. Yeah. I
think it's a female thing.
No, actually, I'm informing myself on YouTube because I watch these fucking I watch things like Bearing, Undoomed, No Bullshit, and SJW Central, and I look up all those ones just that totally look at the cringes, and also wrecked feminist videos. I look up those ones. Those are fucking funny, man. and I look at how much these fucking the social justice warriors actually fail in such a way to where they turn around and make themselves look like a complete dunkoffery. I mean, there was a lady. I think there was a lady that turns around and says that she's transracial, named Rachel, who says that she's transracial. Her last name's that Dolajol lady. What's her fucking name? It's she was the head of the NAACP over in America, and she was actually outed. She was actually a white woman with a shitty tan, and a bad weave, and she basically pretends that she's black. Yeah, she says that, race is a social construct and all this fucking bullshit. It's ridiculous. I mean, she says that people. I mean, this is the funny thing with the social justice warriors. They say that gender is a social construct. They say that race is a social construct. It is bullshit. I mean,
yeah,
and it's hilarious considering that people like that actually exist, and it's actually coming into New Zealand. I mean. And this is why I have such a bad fucking vibe with Rachel, because she turns around and pulls the heartstrings of some of these uninformed, idiotic people, and they side with her. And then when the truth actually comes out, which I actually called her out on, when I called her out, before I called her out on NZ Metal. Actually, what happened was that I did my research. I spoke to you, and I spoke to Jess, and I spoke to a bunch of other people as well, and I actually spoke to the guys that she was sleeping with, wife, who's now no longer on the internet, and who had to flee the fucking country because of her, and
I would love to fucking talk to her if I could, because I feel sorry for them.
She stays off the internet now. The last time I spoke to her was probably around about the time me and Michelle fell out last year. And if she
ever pops up again, you tell her to contact me.
I will. I haven't spoken.
No woman should fucking feel threatened to the point she has to leave the country and leave her husband behind.
That's what I've heard anyway. The last I heard, she left the country, but I haven't spoken to her since our Skype chat back in July, early August. Before.
Try and contact her and see where she's at.
It's gonna be hard because she doesn't have the internet where she is. She's in. As far as I know, she's totally disconnected. She's off the grid.
If her husband's still here and she still has some contact with him, I mean, probably. She'll find a way to contact her.
I don't know her husband from a bar of soap, unfortunately. She only came to me out of confidence. So she wanted to keep it confidential, but at the same time, she was actually quite distraught when I spoke to her.
Yeah, well, that's why I said that she's more than welcome to contact me, because I know what it's like to have this sort of shit, and I'm 100% supportive of the Indian culture, and it's a shame that her husband's a fucking piece of shit for cheating on her in the first place. But
Michelle of all people.
Out of all people, fucking Michelle.
Yeah, it was pretty laughable when Michelle turned around and tried sabotaging my relationship last year with a fake profile. She turned around. Did you hear about that? Did you hear what she did? Yeah. She did that. That was. I knew it was Michelle because when the number called me up on my phone, Michelle was laughing in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't mistake her voice for that. That's another thing that she did to me is
Exactly.
like everything was all good and quiet, and I knew that this was like I think last year. I know when things start to get quiet with her and start to get really concerning, because it's always relentless stalking. I'm just like, oh yeah, it's background noise. It gets to the point where it's background noise, and you get used to it. And then when it goes quiet, that's when I started getting really worried because I'm like, fuck, what is she planning next?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the fucking morning, she kept ringing my phone. And that's why I now have software on my phone so that if anyone tries to call me, it records every fucking conversation, because she'd ring and then it'd be and then there was another one that it sounded like she was having an orgasm, which was really fucking creepy. It was gross. And then another one she played it was 3 Days Grace. I can't remember the exact song, but the lyrics were pretty much I hate you.
I hate everything about you. Yeah, I know the song. Yeah, that was their first song that got them famous.
Yeah, and because I know my fucking shit with music, it's a love rock song. Now, what fucking insane cunt would call me, as insane stalker would call me and play me a rock love song?
That's probably her, unless if you have a direct somewhere.
That's when I clicked and realised it was her, because, I mean, who the fuck else would be that dumb and wide awake at night that they would just go and fucking send that sort of shit to me?
Yeah.
And there was the last phone call where I ended up taking it all to the police because it was blocked from a private number, but the police were able to prove that it was her cell phone number because they contacted, I think she might have been with Vodafone at that stage.
She is still with Vodafone. I actually spoke to Vodafone. I think it was yesterday. And
Yeah,
I spoke to Vodafone yesterday. I've actually laid a complaint with them in regards to her harassment. And I'm also going to be sending them a link of this video once I've uploaded it to YouTube, and once I've done the editing. This is going to appear on the J Solo Project page, this discussion. As you saw on the J Solo Project page, that this discussion is going to be on this page in regards to the issues surrounding Michelle Jade and also what she's capable of doing. Also, this is going to probably go to my lawyer as well, just so we could get a good grasp of what's going on with this person too. The thing is with the police, the police should have, acted on the harassment charges. I mean,
they claimed there wasn't enough sufficient evidence, and that she needed to be threatening my life or my family's life in any way before they took it seriously.
It's still not the point with them though.
And at that stage, cyberbullying wasn't actually illegal in New Zealand at that stage.
That's right. We have the Harmful Digital Communications Act now, but that came back. How long ago? How long ago did you make those make the complaints?
From the very beginning. From the very beginning, as soon as it all started, like I've got screenshots of bits of papers. They're not full. I've got them folded up showing the police symbol on the side and stuff, so I can't really prove that they were that, but I really didn't want to give evidence of my address on a public site.
That's fair enough too.
I had folded so my address and my number and shit was covered, but the police symbol paper wasn't.
Yep.
And there is a lot more to it than what I've said so far. Like, ever since the day I told her to piss off, that's been shit hit the fan. My daughter's rabbit disappeared. Yeah, my daughter's rabbit disappeared. This is when me and Kaz were really tight too. Me and Kaz went out food shopping and stuff like that, went out to do something. This is while my daughter was still at kindergarten for the day, and we'd come back and we found that my front window had been pried open, and we freaked the fuck out. And I said, I don't know why, but this has Michelle written all over it. It's really scary because at that stage I still had some of the clothes that she had wanted to buy off me in my house, and it was in that spare room that the window was half jimmied open. And, and all I could think was fuck, because I don't know anyone else at the time that would have had a vendetta against me, so I was just like, that screams Michelle. That really screams Michelle.
Did you lay in complaint with the police in regards to the breaking?
I did. I asked for them to come and do fingerprints and shit like that, and I don't even think they even came because it was quite a little bit of a while ago, so I didn't remember if they actually came and spoke to me or not. But they did definitely write it down in the records. Just weird shit was happening around the house, and I caught her twice in a car parked outside my fucking house. And that's the other reason why we moved house and no one really knows where we live, is because I don't want her fucking parking outside my house again. I don't want her fucking sitting there watching me. We even have security cameras now. And it got to the point where I started feeling unsafe. So we moved house, and unfortunately, Kaz brought Michelle to my house while I wasn't home, and she didn't realise I had a fucking security camera set up. And I caught them on the security camera, both of them getting out of the car and her pointing at the house and shit. And that's been given to the police.
Do you still have this footage available?
No, I don't, unfortunately, because my computer broke. It's still in fucking pieces waiting for a new motherboard.
Actually, if you still have that hard drive, get one of those hard drive docks. You can get
I've got a hard drive dock. Can't find it. I've been looking for it ever since because the police have got the footage, but they won't give me a copy of it. And I can't find the footage anymore. It could be the software, because the software deletes it after a certain time.
What software is it?
It's just some cheap fucking life cam shit, but it's based on the memory on my thing, so it will go, okay, you're running in memory, let's delete the old files.
Okay, that would do it.
Yeah. That's why I need a fucking terabyte hard drive.
Actually, yeah, terabyte hard drives are actually. I mean, you can get like 2 terabyte hard drives for real cheap now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else you would like to cover? I heard that there was a rumor speculating, saying, I think from what Michelle told me, that she turned around and said that you were stalking her. What was the scenario in regards to that? I would like to.
I don't know how I could stalk her when I have only 3 accounts and I blocked her on all of them.
I mean, I'm not on the accounts. I'm meaning as
Yeah.
in personally, in person. Apparently, she
She
said,
lives fucking Silverdale and I don't even
yeah,
fucking drive. I'm in West
exactly.
Auckland by Henderson. How the fuck would I get to Silverdale to fucking stalk her?
I don't know. I think
I mean,
she.
because she was hanging out with Kaz, I wouldn't even go anywhere near fucking I wouldn't go anywhere near New Lynn because of Michelle. I was just like, if I went to New Lynn and I saw Michelle, I would have bashed the shit out of her and ended up in jail for fucking assault charges.
Yeah.
And that was the last thing I needed as a mother.
Oh
To
God,
be
no.
fucking done with assault charges, so I stayed the fuck away from New Lynn while Kaz was still living there.
Um. Would you be able to supply me any other names of people who she's harassed and who are willing to come forward in regards to this?
I can supply names, but I don't. Most of them I know are pretty much done and dusted with her, and have had no issues with her since. So one of them, Axel, that I added to the group, he was like, "Oh no, sorry, don't have any issues with her anymore," and then removed himself. But yeah, it was just mainly me and what's her name,
Kayla
Jess, that
Renee.
have real serious issues with her on my side. She has had my friend Natasha has had some small issues. If I can, I'll talk to her about it by Snapchat.
If she wants to talk,
Uh,
feel free to give her my Facebook details and we can schedule
yeah,
a time. Because I would like to get as much testimony as possible
yeah.
in regards to her as well. I mean, in regards from different people as well. You were a great help. Thank you very much for participating in this discussion.
And for all I know, I might have missed out fucking heaps because there's like I can tell you now, there's a fucking list from my shoulder to my arm of the sort of
I'm
that
sure
she's done to me.
that you should. There is a lot that there's still
Yeah.
need to be discussed in this one, but we'll leave it for now. And we've done very good so far. So thank you very
I
much.
can definitely tell that she is still number one obsessed with me with the fact that she tried, sleeping around with a married Indian man last year. The fact that she's dyeing her fucking hair the colours that I have. I wouldn't be surprised if she bleaches her hair next because I've bleached
Yeah.
mine. I bleached mine because I found out she went and dyed hers the same colour as mine, fucking pink and blue and shit, and I'm like, fuck off. And she's also dyed her hair fucking red. In the past as well. That was right when we stopped being friends. She's even gone. She found out that I wanted the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. She went and bought that and then made a public post about it. And I knew about it because my mate fucking screenshot it and sent it to me and showed that it was public. So she was trying to aim it at me. And yeah, I just wouldn't be surprised the next step I take, she's gonna fucking copy me. Like, she knows I'm a photographer. I wouldn't be fucking surprised if she tries photography next.
Well,
She wanted to be
if she
reader.
does photography, I know for a fact that I won't be going anywhere near her. As a matter of
She can't
fact, I'll be.
fucking take a photo of shit on her cell phone, let alone a fucking camera, man.
She wouldn't even know how to use fucking Photoshop, mate. And I only do poster design through Photoshop. And you've seen my poster work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that great, but I'm still learning.
I'd rather stick to my photography, thank you. I know I'm not the best or skilled that's out there, but I know for the fact I have fucking talent.
I used to do photography when I was in high school. I did photography in high school, and we worked in the dark rooms, and it was actually quite fun.
That was back when you didn't have digital photography, right?
That was before we had digital photography. That was before we had that was before when Photoshop was still a fart in the elevator.
Yeah.
And this was before we had the Samsung Galaxies and selfie cameras and all this shit.
No.
And
Yeah.
we actually had to edit our photos with chemicals, and that shit burns.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can fucking imagine.
Yeah, and even videography was a cunt back in the day, because when I was working in the industry that I was working in doing video editing, it was the software at the time was very Spartan, and it was very nimble at the time, and it was not very user
Yeah.
friendly. But
I mean, back in the days, just to get a panoramic view of something, you had to take multiple fucking photos and then you had to stick them together and match them all up where they should be.
yeah,
And you had to do it within that day and within that hour, otherwise shit was not going to match up and it was going to
oh
ruin
yeah,
it. And that's how they used to do it for like editing like fucking things on websites and stuff like that. They'd have to do that and then it'd have to be scanned and then fucking photoshopped so it looked all like it was naturally done with a computer. And that was before panoramic came into technology altogether.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, do you have anything else you want to add in the discussion about Miss Michelle Stalker Jade?
Not off the top of my head right now. I just want to say that she is a maggot to society, which isn't really a name I should call her because maggots actually do a good thing, not a bad thing.
Yeah,
They actually clean up after the mess and get rid of the disgrace.
yeah.
But she is an infestation, unfortunately. If she gets into your life, you do one thing wrong. What actually I just remembered two things that she's done to me. She tried calling work and income and do me for fraud, and I've backed my shit up to the high heavens to
Same.
prove otherwise, and I've even taken fucking, statements and all sorts, and also the police reports that I've had against her, and the fact that she did it out of retaliation. And she's turned around and called Child, Youth and Family and said that I was beating my daughter, I wasn't feeding my daughter, and that she was being 100% neglected, like not fucking bathed and shit like that. I'm like, I don't get how you would know that because you don't fucking live here.
One question:
And
have you heard anything back from Child, Youth and Family in regards to that? I mean,
oh, they came to visit. They came to visit and they go, well, these allegations are obviously false. And I go, yeah, they definitely are. And then I gave them the police reports. And since then, every time she's attempted to call, I've been notified. Every time she's been attempted to call and try and make more false allegations against me and Child, Youth and Family. The one that she did after they came to visit me, she tried to make a claim that my partner was going to rape her, which is the most serious allegation you could ever fucking make, that an adult that loves his own kid is going to rape her.
I feel sorry for your partner for that, man. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
he lost his shit. He actually started he literally just got out of his work clothes and he was just walking around in his towel, and as soon as I told him that, he started putting his clothes on, got his fucking keys, and I had to stop him. He was going to go to Silverdale and beat her to death. He didn't give a fuck he was going to jail.
One there, man.
He didn't give a fuck he was going to go to jail. He was going to beat her to death because he said this is beyond the joke.
That is beyond the joke. That is actually quite serious.
Yeah.
I mean, and that is just that is proof that was this with the police or was this with SIF?
SIFs.
Okay.
Yeah, because SIFs mentioned it and they said, is there a possibility she's in any danger? And I said, no, there's not. You're more than welcome to come visit this person. I can give you his full details. You can give him a full investigation with the police and you'll find that he is completely innocent and completely harmless. You can even do a full psyche evaluation and find that he is completely harmless.
Screwed.
She made the mistake of telling my mate down south and Kaz all about this shit. She made the mistake, oh yeah, I called SIFs and said all of that. Oh yeah, I called WINS and said all of that. She made a mistake of telling them, and that's how I fucking knew, and that's when I backed my shit up. And, gave WINS and SIFs the screenshots that my mate said that come from her. And gave everything just to say, look, if she tries again, if there's a number that's calling from Silverdale or calling from this number, or any of these numbers related to her or her father, I even gave them, I even gave Michelle's father's number to them as well.
Isn't it a toll call from Silverdale to West Auckland? Isn't that a toll call?
So it is, and it's I think a certain point past North, in North past is when it starts becoming a toll call.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So,
I think it's
you
before
know,
Albany. I think it's before Albany.
yeah, yeah. She still sits there and claims that I'm all shit, and and that she didn't say that. But the funny thing is
Uh,
I've got a screenshot which I will give you that you can put with this video.
yeah, I'll be
Oh,
putting. I'll
when
be.
my
I'll be. What I'll be doing is I'm going to be collating a file so I can give this to my lawyer so we can tell him so we can understand that this person was behind what she was doing to me. Now, like I've said, I'll say for the third time, I'm not going to delve into what she's done. You already know in private anyway. But the
yeah,
allegations, what she's done is actually quite suspiciously specious, and
disgusting.
since she's instigated something pretty terrible here. And this has actually gone on to record here on what she's done to Letitia. And she is capable of doing this. And now that we have proven that she is capable of doing this, and Michelle has openly admitted to it, and the screenshots are in fact proof, yeah, we've got her.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you for filling me in on
Unfortunately,
that.
unfortunately, when I stopped being friends with Kaz, that's when she sort of turned on me as well. 'Cause she jumped on Michelle's side, and my Facebook went haywire, and unblocked a fucking shitload of people, like my mother, you name it, unblocked everyone, and I fucking lost it, and I couldn't fucking reblock anyone for fucking 42 hours, which was really
48.
annoying. Or 48, yeah.
Yeah.
Which was really, really annoying. And Michelle and fucking Kaz caught wind, and they both made fucking posts about me in a bitching and moaning group that I'm in. And because I turned around and told the admin of the group what was going on and that it was aimed at me because she was accidentally unblocked because of a fucking Facebook error, she straight away deleted Michelle's post as well as Kaz's post, and then Michelle copied and pasted it, reposted it with my names on it, my Facebook names,
Fucking
making
Jesus.
sure that I was aware that it was about me. And luckily, I had screenshot it, and before she was then blocked and removed from the group. So I'll be able to give you that too. Like, she's
Give me
really,
everything you got. Give me
yeah,
everything you got.
yeah, yeah. Like, that's why my new number, that's, the phone that I'm using now, it's got a new number.
Yeah.
It's for my photography, but I'm not ready to put it out there on my photography page
Yeah.
yet, because I know once she's got it, she could then use it to her advantage. I mean, she gave my
Exactly.
fucking number out at one point, and that's
She
the other
did
reason why I
that.
got a number.
She it's the same with me. I don't really give my number out to just anybody.
Yeah,
If I give it out to clients, I don't give it out there and then. I used to have a fake number
wait,
up.
what?
I used to have my old number up, but now with my new number, if people message me, if they PM me for business, then I give them my number.
Yeah,
And that's usually the go. She had my the only I don't give my number since that I have a small fan base with with my solo project.
yeah,
I don't give my number out to just anybody, and I don't leak my number out to anyone, and I don't have my number leaked out anywhere on that platform. Now,
yeah,
the funny thing is, when Michelle was trying to set me up for the kill, she turned around and that person turned around and said that they were a fan of of J Solo Project,
yeah,
and they turned around and said, "Oh, I'm a fan of J Solo Project." And I actually asked them, "How in the fuck did you get my number?" They was like, "Oh, I got it off Facebook." But the funny thing was, I had my old numbers on Facebook. I didn't give them my new number. I did not leak anyone my number.
yeah,
And that's where my suspicions immediately arose. Michelle had my numbers, so therefore Michelle knew what the fuck she was on about. Michelle basically leaked my number out, gave it to this person. They started flirting with me, and right off the bat, I actually turned around and said to them, "Look, I'm in a relationship. I'm not going to cheat on my partner." Blah blah blah. They disregarded that altogether.
and just keep going.
And they just kept going, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna fuck with your head. Fuck this shit. And this is where Michelle was trying to fucking, try to get one up on me. But as it turned out, I already knew it was Michelle because she had my number I don't give my number to my fans because that's a security risk right there. And,
yeah, exactly.
You know, and that alone can be quite risky. So,
Yeah.
so
It's like, why do you think Justin Bieber doesn't have his fucking number on display? I mean, hello.
it's like Slipknot giving up their personal information. You don't fucking do that.
Exactly.
You don't give out your numbers to fucking personal fans because it's just going to be
You want your private life separate from your fucking fan base life.
Exactly. You are right. You took the words right out of my mouth. You know, so yeah, that's what she basically did. Now, Michelle turned around and played dumb and said, "I don't do that. You're a fucking cheating girl." So but the funny thing was, it was Michelle. Michelle was capable of doing this. Michelle is also capable of sending someone nearly to jail, as you just told me.
Yeah.
So we've got her. So yeah.
Honestly, if she does watch this, I really want to know what's going on inside her head. Why does she get a kick out of doing this? Why is she so hell-bent on destroying people's lives that just want to stay the fuck away from her?
I would like to convey that same question to her as well. Why is she
Honestly, my life is happy. My life has been great. And, you know, unfortunately, just because she didn't like the fact that I told her to go away and leave me alone, she had to tip my world upside down. And it took me a good 2 years, because it's been 2 years since she started a lot of this bullshit, even though she's been stalking me since I was pregnant with Madeline.
Yeah.
Or probably just before that, because I've been living with her ex, I was living with her ex as a flatmate.
Yeah.
And just putting it out there, I don't do white boys. I'm not into white boys, and her ex is white, so
yeah,
go figure, fucking right.
Well,
go
you're
figure.
Hanging out with a white boy. You're friends with the white guys, so
yeah, I am happy to be friends with a white guy, but it's good because I'm not sexually attracted to white guys.
Cock.
Anyway,
there's a saying: cock is cock. At the end of the day, if it goes in a hole, it goes in a hole.
Yeah, but that's from your male perspective.
Even if it's
that's
plastic.
Your male perspective.
Even if it's plastic.
Anyway, as I was saying, I just don't get it. Why don't you just go get a life, go get a job, build your own friends and family?
Build an empire.
Why try to take other people down just because you don't like them or you're jealous of what they have?
Exactly.
It's
There's
pointless.
a saying. I'm gonna quote Sean Cran from Slipknot, and he did a interview back in 2001 with Much Music. We're all building an empire. We're trying to build ourselves from the ground up, you know, and that's what we're trying to do. We're all purveyors of building our own empires one way or another. And if Michelle actually did something constructive and positive, rather than contributing all this negative nonsense, making people's lives utterly miserable, and portraying herself to be this narcissistic sociopath, maybe she would be a little bit more different as a person. Maybe if she stopped acting like a bitch and actually fucking...
Or a 16-year-old. No, wait. A 16-year-old even behaves better than that.
Oh, exactly.
Even my 5-year-old behaves better than that.
Even my fucking 10-year-old niece behaves better than that.
Yeah.
Michelle needs to get some serious help, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not a psychiatrist and I'm not a psychologist by any means necessary, and I know for a fact I'm gonna get discredited immediately from that anyhow. But aside from the obvious, she does need help. And and the funny thing is, when we were going through that whole Scumwatch saga, and how who was the person saying that Michelle says that I'm delusional?
Yeah.
You know, apparently Michelle, they actually spoke to Michelle, and it was actually the admin of Scumwatch 4. They turned around and said to him, Michelle says you're delusional. And I was like, really? I don't think she's... Someone
had screenshot everything, and she will know that everything we have said today. Oh,
exactly.
yesterday or whenever it was, yeah.
Now, the funny thing is that Michelle can turn around and say that I'm delusional as much as she likes. But the funny thing is, Sandra Elaine Babarich, that person, um, it's real funny considering that Michelle turned around and screwed the pooch there, saying that I'm delusional. But but realistically, Michelle's the one that's delusional because she's hiding in her fort, fucking cowering like a bitch. Avoiding this whole thing, saying that she's saying that I'm delusional, but really, I think, in honesty, she's the one that's delusional because she's inflicting all of this. She's instigating
Yeah.
everything, and she's
I've even told her to her face once that I've even told her once that if she really wants to sort shit out, if she really wants me to stop talking about her, if she really wants the whole she thinks that I'm stalking, right? The stalking to stop or whatever the fuck she thinks I'm doing. Then why doesn't she come talk to me to my face? Why doesn't she just
she
fucking throw some
doesn't.
fucking balls?
She's a cyber bully.
She doesn't have any. She's not a cyber bully. She's a cyber fucking
terrorist.
Trojan. She's a Trojan horse. She's a Trojan horse. She gets into everyone's fucking software. In other words, lives. It's the best way to describe her. She is a virus that gets into everyone's life, and it's an unwanted virus.
Exactly. Now this is real funny because my friend Letitia Jefferson has known me for a good solid 10 years. She used to be an ex-girlfriend of mine about 12 years ago. She's known me for a very long time. She's known me not to cheat. She's known me not to be violent, and she's known me not to to yell or anything. Yeah, I do rant every once in a while, but yeah,
No, it doesn't. We're fucking human. We all need to have our fucking times where we need to vent and just go, oh my fucking god,
exactly.
shut up,
Exactly, and
Well,
it's real funny that Michelle can turn around and easily point the finger saying that I'm a violent person. Now, I actually brought this question up with my lawyer yesterday, and in regards to the allegations that Michelle has done on me, the funny thing is I brought this question up with my lawyer and I asked him if she is flat out denying it, of what she's done to me currently, and what she's actually done. How does she know all about the information if she hasn't spoken to Raven in 2 weeks? That's the question I would raise up. And he was like, you actually have a valid point. He actually asked me, that is a valid question there. How would she know of this information if she hasn't spoken to Raven in 2 weeks? And how does she know this? Raven hasn't spoken to her in 2 fucking weeks. Now, how does Michelle know the fact that I got arrested? How did Michelle know all of this? Oh, that's right. Eh?
She would have had to have stalked you.
It wasn't the fact that she stalked. When I posted it up on J Solo Project, I didn't even allude the fact that I got arrested. In fact, I only said, some serious shit has gone down. I'm putting J Solo Project on a indefinite furlough until further notice.
Yeah.
And that's all I only just said. Now,
Yeah.
when Michelle posted up on the J Solo Project saying, "Oh, it's because you're a woman basher and you're a fucking and you got done for assault," there she admitted the fact that there basically was her admittal right there. She was the one that called the police on me. Okay, now if that isn't an admittance, and considering the fact that Raven didn't speak to her for 2 straight fucking weeks,
I hope you screenshot that.
I didn't. I wasn't able to keep that screenshot.
Yeah.
Eh?
Hope it's still there so you can.
I had to delete it because people were going to fucking ask questions.
Well, at least if the lawyer requested information from Facebook, it will still be there in cyberspace somewhere.
It'll probably will be. Will be on the servers somewhere.
That would have been evidence right there, and would have been able to build a case against her and stuff.
Yeah, I should have screenshotted that. But the fact is that she was taunting Raven with it as well, and she was taunting. And I still got the chat excerpts from Michelle anyway. saying, you know, hang on, here we go. I've still got the chat, and I've still got the chat excerpts on how Michelle knows. I mean,
Yeah.
I said to her, "This shit came from you, Michelle. I know. Raven picked it up, and you instigated the bullshit between us once again. Like you did last year. Like you did Letty. Like you did Jessica. Like you did the married guys. You fucking destroy their marriages. You are cancer. And pinning it on me just shows how much of a psychotic predator you really are. I knew about NZ Metal and not getting in touch with you. I clarified it with one of the admins, which you threatened under a fake Jevon Boley profile you created
It's the
by you.
profile, I think it was Jevon or some shit. I'm not too sure. I'll have to look it up on the screenshots.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, anyway, and you are well known to make fake accounts, Michelle. One of the Facebook groups you're banned from knows this as well, so lying will not get you anywhere. Not this incident, but you also have ruined other people's lives too, Michelle. Your reputation is mud, cunt. Oh wait, it already is. Doublefold. And this is what she said. This is what she said. Oh, ha, 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 ha. You wish it was me. No evidence it was me at all. I have not created profiles in over 3 years, dickface. Don't threaten me. I know what is true and what isn't, so fuck off. And don't fucking message me, you woman basher. How did she know that? How did she know that that it was an assault? You know,
Exactly.
You know, she basically unraveled herself right there. Bullshit. Raven knew it was you. I knew it was you. You wouldn't know what was true even if it came out of your vindictive ass crack. You instigated this, bitch. And
she doesn't realise how fucking stupid she really is. At the end of the day, she can claim all she wants about not making these fake profiles, but you get someone smart enough and intelligent enough to stalk her IP address, they can show you every fucking account logged in from that IP address.
Oh, exactly. Exactly. It's not hard.
You cannot change your IP address unless you change your computer or phone.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
anyway, and with your reputation and considering you're also a manipulative bullshit artist, you failed to convince otherwise. You have been stalking us since I called you out, and don't you dare cover your ass. You weren't coming down here for a job. You were coming down here to fuck us up like you did Letty and Jessica. Why don't you go fuck yourself like you normally do with chicks on sex sites? Really? Oh, you mean the ones you created to implicate me with? You are fucking diabolical.
It's fine, Maddie. Yeah, sorry, I'm just, looking at my kid too.
Yeah.
I will sort to it in a minute. Please wait. Yeah. Carry on.
Alright, she says, which one's heart? You talk to slots, remember? Sluts. So says the homewrecker. Jesse and Letty are real people and aren't me, you fuckwit. You really need to wake up and get off your sex sites. I was referring to you. They're more honest than you are. Pot meat kettle. You're so funny, wanker. Go fuck yourself, dick. At least I have
She's
a
not
life.
even trying to defend herself against me and fucking Jess. That's pretty obvious that she's guilty there.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a narcissistic thing that she said. At least I have a life to live other than living in sex sites, getting hard-ons for no reason. You're the homewrecker for your own sake. Ha ha ha. Cheating man whore.
Why? What fucking life does she have? One, she can't hold a fucking job and has to work with her father half the fucking time and borrows money from her father to have the nice expensive shit. Two, every fucking friend she gets, she burns through because she's doing shit like this. So tell me, what fucking life does she have?
Oh, exactly. She doesn't have any life. And the fact of the matter is that I also gave her a job last year, and she'd rather go out and play fucking Ingress and destroy people's marriages. Yeah, that really is a contributing life, isn't it?
Yeah. And those who want to sit there and go, oh, how do I know? I must be stalking her. Dude, I've got fucking mates that stalk her for me, and I don't even ask them to do it. And one of them will go, aha, she just got a job, wonder how long that will last. And we'll actually sit there for fun and fucking bet on how long she'll keep that job for.
Yeah. Oh,
We actually play her life now.
it's real funny. The question that Raven and I ask ourselves, well, Raven and I separately ask ourselves is, why Wellington? You know, I mean, yeah, I mean,
Although for us in Auckland, the ones that she's fucked over in Auckland, and especially Kayla was like, fuck you, she'd be doing us all a favour if she fucks off down to Wellington. We all thought, you know, fuck, God sent, you know, she's fucking off out of Auckland, one less thing to worry about. And then I went, oh shit, but what about poor fucking Raven and her partner? What about those two? They're going to have to fucking put up with her next.
yeah, I mean, why there? I mean, what is she proving there? That's the funny thing. That's a question that eludes me. Is the fact that she's coming down here and she's going to be making our lives a living hell. And that's a question that festers on my brain. You know, why here? I mean, is she going to another area just to fuck another couple's life up? And yeah, that's a question.
Daddy's threatening to kick her out of the house again. Could be a possibility because he kicked her out at one point because he got sick of the shit that she was starting. Because I got to the point that every time she'd fucking do something, I'd call him and complain.
Yeah.
So every fucking time she'd do something, I'd call him. He got fucking sick of it. And I even gave his number to everybody else that she'd be fucking over. So every time she'd do something, I'd call him, and he got sick of it and kicked her out. And she ended up living in Newland for a little bit. I can't remember the lady's name, but this chick, the lady that she was living with, she fucked her over too, and just was an absolute asshole to her. And the chick that I was in contact with about it it's not her real biological mother, but she calls her mum, just like how I've got pretty much the same sort of thing, a woman that I call mum because she's pretty much a mother figure to me. And she was just like, this is what Michelle's been doing, blah 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 blah, and now she's like threatening a lawsuit because we won't give her back a couple things because she owes us money, because she ended up owing a lot of money. Apparently while she was living at the house, instead of opening up the windows for air conditioning, getting some cool air in the house to cool the house down, she would turn on the air conditioner. Yeah, the aircon, and just, no, don't open it, it's not yours. And just run her fucking power through the roof just with the aircon all the time.
Jesus.
Yeah, and so she owes people a lot of money every fucking way, man. Stepping on it.
I'm actually surprised that Michelle hasn't been taken to the small claims court in regards to this.
Oh, well, the thing is, it's just too much money and effort for small claims court these days now. I mean, I could do it too, but it's just, I don't have the energy. I really don't have the energy and the fucking, I will end up either I or her will end up having to pay the equivalent of what she owes me in fucking court fees anyway, so what's the fucking point?
Yeah, fair enough there too, yeah. But the people that she does, I'm actually surprised that no one has spoken up on the scammers and the name and shame scammer pages about her.
Well, there's actually not that many people on the scammers page. I thought, you would have posted in multiple areas as well. That would be like almost 1 million people, so that way it got around even more.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually surprised that, there's quite a few people on the Auckland renters. On the Auckland Flatmates pages. She hasn't lived with us personally. She's only stayed for a couple of days, and twice, and that was about it. But I'm actually really quite baffled that Michelle hasn't been red flagged on that group. I'm actually surprised that no one has circulated her name around.
Well, then happy to circulate her name around myself if I have fucking time and energy.
It'll be a good idea. It would be a good idea to, considering that she owes so many people money. If she owes so many people money, and the fact that her reputation really is bad, I think it's a cause for concern, to be honest.
Because she you know, other than living with her father because her father's, you know, dumb enough to enable her, you know, sorry to her father. I can't remember his name. I think his name's fucking Paul. Sorry to you, mate, but you are enabling her. You know, Pete, I just don't think. I think she's too scared to fucking go out and live with people now because her name's getting out in Auckland now. Some people know who she is and want nothing to fucking do with her.
I don't blame them, to be honest. I mean, I don't want anything more to do with her. In fact, after all of this, I'm going to be putting out putting out trespass orders. I'm going to be putting out protection order against her.
I would like to put a trespass order on her, but that then enables her even more, and then she has my physical address. Because when you put out a trespass order, if it's especially from a property, you actually have to put your physical address on it that she's been trespassed from. Can you not bump that? Thank you.
The only problem is that the trespass orders are supposed to protect those who are victimized by this person. Now,
yeah, but unfortunately, there are loopholes through that.
There are major loopholes. There are major loopholes with that.
And you can't even legally have a gun in New Zealand anymore to defend your own property.
Yeah,
you know,
our gun laws are fucked up.
About somebody else that had trespassed me off their property who I didn't even know. Like, I got trespassed from someone who I didn't even know, let alone talk to, and have never even been to their property. They trespassed me. I'm like, who the fuck is this dumbass? Anyway, and it was all because the person that I was helping out happened to have disagreements with them, and I was helping them move out and shit like that and move into my house temporarily.
Yeah.
And they were trespassing her, and just because they knew that me and her were friends, they turned around and trespassed me as well, just to stop me from entering the property to get her stuff. But either way, I was just like, what the fuck? And then I looked at it because I was thinking about doing the same sort of thing to Michelle just to prevent her from further coming onto my property. And I looked at it and I went, and I spoke to the police and stuff like that, and I looked at it going, is there not any way that I can give them a verbal one to stay off my property? And they go, no, you have to legally put your address. Don't! It is attached to my phone and I'm using it. Yeah, and you're shaking it. Off you go. I'm almost done.
Yeah, we'll wrap this up very soon. Very shortly.
You know, I promised her a movie and stuff, so... Yeah, she's been a typical impatient 5-year-old. I feel
sorry.
Sorry, Maddie.
Sorry, Maddie.
We're sorry for taking up your time. We won't be long. You know, yeah, and I asked the police, I said, you know, I'm obviously, you know, first warning, I can put up a sign on my gate saying trespassers will be, you know, whatever, and stuff like that. And I said, well, I've got guns in my house. Can I use them? And they goes, no, if they are even trying to attack you, you have to go inside and lock the door and stay there. You're not allowed to defend yourself. And I say, what? So if this guy's got a knife to my fucking throat, I can't shoot him in the head. And he goes, what do you mean, some guy? And I went, no, I'm using as an example. If a guy come up and I couldn't get inside and lock the door properly, and he's got something to my fucking throat trying to kill me, and I've got the gun in my hand, I'm not allowed to shoot him, am I? No, you've got to call the cops and go, but if I cannot get to a fucking thing, I legally have the right to shoot him, do I not? No, you don't. You will get prosecuted for shooting at someone. And I'm like, okay, so if they're illegally on my property, I've asked them to leave, and now they're endangering my life, I'm still not allowed to shoot them, and if I shoot them, I'm the one that gets prosecuted and not them. Yeah. And he goes, yeah, well, this fucking law sucks. This fucking country sucks.
The law is ridiculous here in New Zealand. The law is very... Even self-defense laws, even the self-defense laws here in New Zealand are very draconian. I mean,
that's what I mean. Like, I can't do shit about Michelle stalking me or threatening me or doing anything now. I can't do anything. It's literally, I'm powerless.
Yeah.
All I can do is help people like you out and fucking get the word out. That's all I can do. I'm literally fucking powerless.
It's pretty pointless. I mean, now that we have the Harmful Digital Communications Act 2015, which got passed back in mid-2015, we can use that to our advantage, however. But the thing is, the police refuse to do anything about it because they say what's online is online. But this has gone beyond online. This has gone way beyond online. This has gone to the point where it's pretty much invading disrupting family unit, and it's getting people arrested. And it's fucked. I mean, it needs to be taken care of. It needs to be rectified. And the fact of the matter is that the police refused to apprehend this person and refused to deal with this person. I'm actually surprised that no one has actually done any vigilante justice against this person. I'm actually surprised that no one has taken this person out.
I've been sitting here every day wondering if it will ever fucking happen. Like, I believe in karma, but, you know, sometimes karma doesn't work fast enough. And I'm sitting there going, one day, she's going to fucking bark up the wrong tree. One day, she's, you know, she's lucky that the fucking... that it wasn't you know, it was only an Indian man's fucking marriage she fucked with, because what if that was a Pakistani? Pakistani women are evil fucking bitches. They will cut throats.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and I know from, like, first-hand experience, they will fucking cut throats if they have to. They are very protective of what's theirs. As far as they're concerned, they don't give a shit if their partner's cheated on them. They'll still love them for who they are, but you fucking touch them, you lose your fucking hand. That's how they see it.
Oh, yeah. You don't fuck with a Pakistani woman.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Her family is her pride. You fuck with her pride, you fuck with the wrong thing, you know?
Exactly. Well, anyway, we're going to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for participating in this discussion, Letty. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Letty from Letties Life. And
She's
this
more
is...
than to edit part in the fucking description, whatever.
Well, exactly. Like, comment, rate, subscribe, comment and like her page on Facebook, Letties Life. Check out her video content. She's an amazing person.
I talk shit sometimes.
She does some pretty cool shit. She does some pretty cool shit. And you know, feel free to say hi to her. She's a great chick to hang out with. She's a good friend of mine. And yeah, thank you very much for participating in this, Letty. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
Cheers.
And last message I have before you go is, Michelle, just stop. Because one day you are really going to tread in the wrong pothole and it's going to do more than break your ankle.
Oh, yeah. I agree there. Thank you very much. All right, I'll just end the thing now.